Yes. We are back once again. This is the HL podcast for our HL Tuesdays. We are the dopest podcast in the DMV.
You hear?
By the Harris firm and Willpower Innovations. I am Rock alongside your boy Chief.
Yes, sir. In the building.
Now, for our HL interviews, we will be sitting down and interviewing up and coming and established Black entrepreneurs, activists, educators, entertainers, politicians, etc., to learn more about them, their businesses, and how they plan on helping and giving back to the community. All right, now, people, please remember that all of our previous podcasts and recent interview episodes are available on all major podcast platforms. All right. Also, check us out on our YouTube channel at the HL Podcast. We have everything up on there right now. All right, including our most recent podcast episode 62. All right. We are now available on the Roku platform and Apple TV, courtesy courtesy of Politicking Broadcasting. Make sure you download the Politicking app right now. That's POLITIKAN. All right. Mm-hmm. Download that app right now. Thank you all for following us on Facebook, TikTok, and IG at the HL Podcast. We greatly appreciate it. Please check out our most recent issue of the HL Mag, our 5th issue, which now available on IG at the HL Mag. It was crazy.
Yes, that's going crazy right now.
Very crazy. Dropped that on Halloween.
Yeah.
So please check that out. Show your support. And lastly, a very special shout out to the StreamYard platform, as we are broadcasting live across multiple platforms right now.
Yes, sir. So I don't know if this guy needs an introduction, but we're going to give him an introduction.
Right.
Our guy. Tonight we have Garrett Waller, the founder and owner of Garrett Waller LLC. We appreciate you for joining us. Let's go ahead and bring him in.
Yes.
You got to unmute your mic, brother.
That's it. Unmute the mic.
There you go.
There we go.
What's up?
What's going on, man?
Fellas.
That's what's up, man. It's good to see you on this election night.
Yes.
You did. Hey, man. What better it down and just for a little while crazy out there. You know, they're necessarily going crazy, but
yeah.
This is a good way to spend the night right here. You know.
I hear that.
Yeah, thanks for being on with us, man.
Definitely. So let me start by asking you, man. Get the people. What's your personal mission statement?
Okay, my mission statement is to provide world-class fitness as possible, timely, make it available, make it reliable. You know, that's my mission statement.
That's what's up. So let me ask you, we all know what we know growing up in Richmond. So tell us about growing up there in Richmond and then ultimately going to Christopher Newport and how those experiences molded you to the person that you are today.
Oh man, growing up in Richmond, but also, a lot of my family, a lot of my time was spent in Hampton, so that's why when you talk about Richmond to CNU, Newport News, it's kind of right there in the middle. So it's funny because the time I was growing up, traveling from Richmond to Hampton, going to see fancy, I never even realized that Christopher Newport News was there, as a kid, right? I just went up the road, came back. So, it was interesting when I found out about Newport News. Actually, it was a friend of mine who went there and then came back and told us about it. He was a year ahead of us. And so I realized I had spent a lot of time in Newport News, already. So yeah, man. Yeah. It made sense for me to go somewhere where I'm close both ways, up the road, down the road.
Yeah.
And So if I talk about how that molded than I am today. I mean, us guys from Richmond, you get to seeing you get to people from 804, right? It's people from the 707, it's people from Northern Virginia or Nova. We just kind of lumped all of the area codes into one. So, I mean, how it was. You kind of click with the guys that are from Richmond, of course. Automatically, we just feel like we got a bond. We from the same place, and then it's not really from up north, which is interesting because that's where all three of us on this podcast are centralized right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
interesting, man. I feel like I had the whole Virginia experience. Been in Virginia my whole life. I grew up in Richmond 15 years, then Newport News a lot of years, then Virginia for a lot of years. The only place I haven't been is the mountain region.
Right.
Right.
So yeah, man. That's the beauty of it is I done had every Virginia experience dang near, other than the mountains.
Right. I feel you, which, like you said, molded to you to who you are, especially growing up in Richmond. We all know that life right there, and for all of us to still be here right now, alive and still kicking and still pushing towards purpose is humongous to me. So let me ask you, for everyone who's viewing this and listening, if you haven't seen Garrett Waller's page or know of him, he is engulfed in the fitness world. I mean, he was doing push up the vote today, like 100 of them every time. So was there any other aspirations before becoming involved in fitness and health? Your mic muted. Your mic went muted.
Okay, what about it is I've always been an athlete, right? So fitness is early on I learned when you train, that can help you do better. What you do in practice helps you perform in the game.
Facts.
So that just was ingrained in my brain, especially as I started to get around coaches, especially more specialized coaches or coaches who, especially like up to high school, AAU coaches, college. It just kind of burned in me that, okay, if you off the court or practice on the court, then that's going to improve your game. So that's the philosophy I take as far as approaching fitness, So before it was probably just athleticism, sports, and also like the mental side of things, just working on your mental, working on the way you think and your thoughts that can affect how you perform in life.
Yep.
So really just translating that to fitness. But for me and most of my clients, we take fitness as a conduit to help us in every other aspect of life. Like a lot of my clients who they end up starting businesses or it's not because of, I don't think it's because of anything they're doing. I think it's just you learn to challenge yourself. You learn to overcome challenges. You learn that you can get through tough things, and then I think you just grow as a person. So to answer your question, it really was sports and athleticism. My mother is an educator, so that was always a part of that for me. It was never just sports. It was always, okay, you're going to get your grades right, and then that's how you're going to be able to play sports. So there was always a preparation for the things I wanted to do. That's how I view it.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm glad you brought in the mental side because a lot of people, especially our people, try to not talk about that. And we all know I'm the basketball fanatic. I love basketball, and I understood that, like you said, practicing and all that, anything that you love, it could relate into life. So on me, if I quit with 30 seconds left in the game, I'm a quitter in real life because that's just what I do. When times get hard, when times get rough, I quit. And I've seen a lot of people, while getting older, of course, but I changed my view on these folks who I play basketball with. I said, I noticed that he does this. So then I chill with him. And it's the same thing in life, right? So I'm glad you said that in the mental and bringing your wellness and fitness in, because that makes a whole lot of sense. Whatever you do good in, make sure you get what I'm saying. You understand that you have to go hard in that because it translates in life, like you said. So let me ask you, what
Yeah.
was your biggest challenge when you were starting off, and do you still face challenges? If so, what are they?
What was my biggest challenge starting off? That would be probably organizing, right? Organizing my thoughts, organizing operations for what I felt like I wanted to do, organizing myself to be able to do the future. So that probably was the biggest thing in the beginning is, you know, you have all these ideas, you write them down, you make plans, because you plan to grow. And so how do you go about, how do you set up, you know, how do you set up operations? How do you set up, you know, your day-to-day task list or to-do list or short term? How do you set that up to be able to plan to do and see the growth that you want to see? So early on, that was my biggest challenge. I have a list of 10 things that I felt like I may be interested in, or I want to get into. But also, you know, when you row in a boat, you know, you gotta kind of play with the water. You know, like you can't just go wherever. When you're sailing, you know, that the wind is gonna take you where you want to say, all right, I'm gonna go here, and then just there, right? So that was definitely the biggest challenge early on. But you kind of relax and see what the feedback is. What are people telling me that they want from me? Okay. And so probably now that's probably still the biggest challenge is, okay, now that I see how can I continue to grow but not spread myself too thin? How do I stay focused? That are working really well for me, but also try to branch out and experiment with some things that I have some established a little bit more than I was when I first started.
Yeah, I agree. I like that, and I feel like you overcame one of those challenges by creating a hashtag. And I love hashtags. That's one of my things, and I teach hashtags a lot because people can follow hashtags. And you've created one, which is defeating the challenge, called Fitspire. Get the folks, tell them what it's about.
Yeah, Fitspire, because, you know, and it's that just listening to the wind and setting your sails, right? So I met a who me through another client, and just saying, you know what, like you inspire people, you inspire me, you inspire people. I didn't think of it that way. I'm always surprised when I hear stuff like that from people. Like, people were calling me before I started a business or a company for fitness. People were calling me and say, hey man, I like what you're doing on fitness. Like, keep doing it. Whatever you're doing, like, keep posting. You're the reason I'm going to the gym. Like, you make me think about this. You make me want to go to get in shape. And that's how I really started. You know, when she came up and said, hey, you're an inspirer, like, you inspire people. And I said, you know what? I don't know if I agree with you yet.
Right.
You know, it's a little hard to like just be like, yeah, that's right. You know, but like, you know, I'm gonna internalize that. I'm gonna take that. Like, I'm gonna run with that. You know, that's about me, then do at least. So and again, it was that same, like, if one of my friends calls me and says, hey, keep the gym, I feel like that's helping me stay in shape and want to be one. And there's probably 5 or 6 other people that might feel the same way. So when she told me that I'm an inspirer, I said, you know what, I'm gonna run with that. There might be some more people that feel like that. And so I said, you know, I'm a Fitspire. Like, I inspire you to do fitness. Right. So that's where Fitspire came about. But again, for me, it's about more than just fitness, because I think that fitness is just the avenue, as a vessel for you in other ways in your life. You know, if you look at, you know, any successful person, I'm sure that they have routines. They may not be, I'm sure all successful people aren't into fitness, but a lot of people who are successful, a lot of people who have that drive, they include that in because we talk about, again, that mental side of just, you know, that mental side of taking care of yourself. Fitness just shows that time out of your right, and plug that into your day every day, or a certain amount of time that says, okay, I'm focusing on me for this 60 minutes that I'm with Garrett. I don't need to answer my phone. I don't need to answer. I don't need to do anything except I'm working on myself right now. Everything else is just gonna have to be on hold. Right. I've worked with people with CEOs, right? I've worked with any CEO, anybody, right? If people, I say CEOs, like people who have a very busy, obviously you have an agenda, right? You got things to do, but you make sure you tell somebody like, hey, I'm unavailable for this time. It's time to make sure that I take care of myself so that I can keep doing the things that I got to do for everybody else that depends on me.
Man, yeah. Your microphone just went mute.
Hey, I want you to work out so that you have big muscles, or I look good on the beach. Is I want to just take care of my body. I want to inspire you to take care of your body and also everything else in you.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. We was talking off air about the push-up challenge that you had in August, which put me back into the routine. Usually every other morning at least, my routine was before I went to work, I went to go hoop with my boys, and then I came and I worked and then finished hoop, this, that. But when the pandemic came, we couldn't ball no more. You know, you couldn't just, so I was lacking all of that in general. And now to this day, I still do the push-ups right before I get to work. Because it just gets me going. You get what I'm saying? It fires me up. I pray with it too. And now I'm good for the day. So I definitely thank you for adding me in on that. But let me ask you, why do people not take their own fitness and health seriously as they should? Because in this time, we're sitting tight. And I believe that we're going to be in another shutdown, which means, you know, more than 3 meals a day now. Everybody eating 10 meals. Not all of them are good. Extra snacking, extra drinking, all of that stuff in this new pandemic world. So why do people not take their own fitness and health seriously as they should?
Well, think about it. Before the pandemic, right? Before March, where everything shut down, I had people and I asked them about health and fitness and their goals and I would ask, what working out? What's keeping you from your goals? And the answers. There's a lot of reasons, and I have a lot. Everyone has a lot of reasons. Anything else other than workout, right? So the pandemic is that in the line, everything stops. There's no basketball. There's no bars. Shut it down because our health is at risk. So that was an eye opener for me, because now it's like, okay, so now everyone can kind of, as a general understand that when is at risk, you have to shut everything else down and focus on doing the things that we can do to mitigate risk, right? Which is exactly what we're doing with the pandemic. So that's just the reason right there. Is just we have a lot of other things to do. We have right? We have entertainment, we have eating and food, we have sleep and rest, we have family, we have travel, we have, you know, we got social things. There's a number. I can go to any reason why we don't take it seriously. But you know, the people who do, guess, you know, here's the other flip side of that coin is the people that I would sit down with that came from the doctor or that came from, you know, they have a neurological disorder with, you know, a skeleton, a physical reason, a health condition. They're not concerned about. That's their main concern is working out. Everything else comes after. Everything I just listed comes. They go to the doctor. They go, okay, listen, you're at risk for X, Y, and Z. I gym, find a routine to work out, and those are the people that sit and they're ready to do anything it takes to help them get in a better health situation. So it depends on the person, it depends on the situation they're in, and just depends on your priorities at the time. You know, people are going to come around when they come around, you know, to it. But you know, I inspire you to make sure that it doesn't happen. Right? Let's get ahead of the so that way when it's fun, you know what I mean? Let's make it fun before it gets serious, right?
Right. Yeah, I agree, and I'm glad you talked about, you know, new clients. That's actually the next question on the list. When you meet new clients, why is it important to start the conversation off by asking them what their wellness and fitness goals are, and are there any specifics that you look for or what to know?
you know, because background in psychology, and I understand that motivation and drive is what's going to keep you going to have your own. I'm a personal trainer. I'm a fitness trainer. I can understand programming. I can give you the best. I can write down the best workout, and I can have 10 scientific reasons why this is the best workout, right, for anybody to do. But if you're not into it, it's not working for you. It's marginalized, right? So when I sit down with a new client, I want to figure out what's the reason you're here to work out. What are your goals? What's going to make you feel good in 3 months, 6 months,
right?
After you put some work in, what are you going to look back and say, all right, I feel good about this. Maybe I didn't accomplish this, but I got this close, and I was back then. So, you know, that's the important, it's the why, you know, because you're going to have a lot of reasons to in that time. And the only thing that's going to keep you going is whatever started you in the first place, right? Whatever is the reason why you sought out a personal trainer in the first place. That's what I want to understand, because you had your goals in mind before you ever talked to me. My job is to make sure that we both understand them and we both keep that in front of us. Work comes in when you change jobs, or you got to move, or somebody has to move in the house with you, and you're just right. All life doesn't stop happening because it's got routine. Right. So we need to understand, what are these goals? What are the things that you really want to accomplish? Because I mean, at the end of the day, you're gonna if you don't get them now or this year, it's gonna be. I talked to some people the first time that have been working on their fitness goals for 5 or 6 years. They start and they stop. So I'm trying to find out what are the reasons that you started and you stopped in the past, right? And what can we do to try to minimize the chances of those things happening again and we get tripped up again? You know, how can we get ahead of that?
I like that. Let me ask you, this is a little off the script, but with morale right now in the pandemic, is it hard to boost that when you see new clients, or to keep their morale going with, you know, new regimen, new workouts and all that? Like, how are they coming to you in this time?
Well, absolutely. You know, I mean, and also what happened is at the beginning of the pandemic, I mean, obviously anxiety, stress, all of that is very high as a consensus. So what I was able to do was take that and flip it. As soon as we started that pandemic, I started a virtual training program. I made it easy. I talk about, you know, the art of fitness. I call it ART, like I said in the mission statement, right? Available, reliable, and timely. So I want to make fitness available, reliable, and timely for any and everybody. So on my website, you can click and join into my live Zoom, and I'm doing an entire workout program 6 days a week. So we can do that from anywhere you are. You don't need any equipment, right? And you can join in. So I have a lot of were probably worried in the beginning of that. What am I going to do? The gym? I was barely hanging on by a thread in the beginning.
Right.
Now I'm definitely about. So yeah, we're all stressed, we're all nervous, but you know, it also gave us a community, right? So there are people that we get on at 12:15. You're gonna come in, you're gonna see some other people at their houses, in their backyards, in their living room, and we all understand there's a common purpose. There's a reason we're all here.
Facts,
right? And we want to get away from the stress. Like, we all got work for 45 minutes and just do something that helps us feel better. So yeah, I mean, that's a way that I was able to help people reach out and still stay on top of their health and help reduce stress, because that's part of health and fitness. A lot of people, pretty much everyone I've ever sat down with, I asked them in the questionnaire, how are you stressed, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, what is this, right? 6 months later, 3 months, 6 months later, most of the time, the number, if they've been consistent on any level. So we're able to reduce that stress by exercising every day. We're able to reduce that anxiety every day. And with the virtual group fitness, you get a community of people, right, that are there just to be there for you when you work.
Right. Right.
And we got like a couple years before, you know, it's just to see people, we laugh together, like I'll tell you what the exercise is, and everybody what?
Right.
Huh? For real? And I'm like, yes, that's what we're doing, and do it together because it's all of us. You know what I mean? So that really helps. And Will, and you know, we did the Fit Life Academy challenge, so I started a group chat, right? Called. We have a group chat, and it's just going off all day long. You got people encouraging you to be active. You got to do push-ups. People are sending in videos of them doing an ab move or sending in videos of them, and that's motivating people. That takes your mind off of whatever's going on. I could be doing something. I'm in the grocery store in the line, and I'm like, dang, I got to sit here for this, and I got to stay distance. And I have my phone. I look at my phone, and 8 people done 10 push. All they push-ups. I'm like, all right, my crew is getting there. When I get back to the house, I'm gonna be like, so that's just anything we can do to just take your mind off of whatever's going on in your day. I think that helps people a lot to just chill out and realize, there's some positive people out here, and we can get together and make some beautiful.
I agree.
Awesome. So I'm sure that all of your testimonials that your clients write, especially on your website, are special to you, right? But are there any that stand out to you, or was there someone or a situation where you didn't know if this person might make it or whatever the case may be, and then they pulled through and then they expressed that to you on your testimonials on your website?
Oh man, yeah. So the testimonial section on my website is garrettwaller.co. You can go to /testimonials and you can read a bunch of them. But I mean, there's a couple that stand out to me. I'll say, if you read Ashley's testimonial, that's one that stood out to me because this is actually somebody that I didn't meet through a word of mouth referral. I didn't meet through from the past. Like, I just met her at the top of last year, or maybe 2018, and 6 or 7 months in. She wrote a beautiful testimonial about our experience together. And again, it was not just about fitness. It was more understanding, fun, and just having that positive person. Right, workout partner, that's there for you. So that was interesting to read because I didn't know. Again, it's like that feedback. People telling them, I just go in, I have fun, I love what I do. I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna have fun. We're gonna work out, like we're gonna talk, we're gonna chat. I'll make sure you stay on what you're doing, right? But at the end of the day, we're like, dang, so she really was impacted by more than just the workout exercises I'm doing. I'm not creating a whole new exercise, right? I'm not doing anything special, as far as exercises that I do. And of course I have to create, and I love to create. No, my dad is an artist, right? My mother is a scientist. To merge both worlds, but it was just interesting. Somebody just have that kind of feedback, with me. And another one would be TL. I think she on my website. And you just never know how you're affecting people. Like when you're just doing your job. Nobody tells you this is how I feel about what we've been doing.
Mm-hmm. Dope, man, dope. Appreciate that. So for our younger audience, right? People who I guess who may be, just trying to get into fitness, right? Or the people who don't realize that, as you get older, things start to slow down within your body, right? Your stamina, all that different things, right? What are some health and wellness tips that you could provide for, young men and women right now?
Good one. I mean, how young we talking?
Right.
Because younger than us.
Because I feel like I'm young. right? But then I
hear that.
I'd be around some youngins, and then they'd be like, you know, I feel like y'all young for real.
Right.
But you know, generally speaking, so just every day, do something every day that gets you to. First off, write your goals down.
Okay.
You know, you might be young now. I mean, because that's something that when I was young, I didn't really do much of. I didn't write things down. You know, I just had them in my head and figured I would eventually get them. And a lot of times that leads to you never doing it, or wait until the last minute. So that would be my first piece of fitness, health, wellness, active lifestyle advice is write down what you want for yourself when it comes to your health and fitness, and put it somewhere where you can see it every day. You know, that's something you can do. That don't require right? If you just write it down every day, if you just write it down and you can see it every day, that's going to put you in a better position to get that, period, without having to do anything else. So that would be the first thing. The second thing would be take a step, right? Do something every day. So with the Fit Life Academy, we have a challenge that puts us in a position to do something every single day that works us towards our health and fitness goals. And it might just be doing 50 push-ups every day, or we've done a squat challenge where we do squats every day. Right now we're doing the hardest fitness challenge, right? So we're doing a different exercise every day of the week. We're doing stretching, we're doing some cardio. So write it down, do something every day. Just I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna stand up every hour and walk around, because I know that the younger people that are in college even are doing virtual school and stuff like that. So put yourself in a position down. You're not having sunlight in your room. You're not having water nearby. Because again, like you said, like you don't think about that. You don't think that matters, right?
That's true.
But what I know is people who I see later 20s and their 30s or 40s and 50s even. You know, it's a lot easier to get into those habits, healthy living. You bit of something, you have some experience, because not everybody plays a sport.
Right.
You know? And so, you know, when you first asked that question, I'm thinking about athletes, right? Because I spend a lot of time around athletes doing, you know, youth sports camps that I do with the company. And, you know, we partner with people from different schools and universities, and those are the athletes. So they're in the routine, you know, they have coaches and things, people on top of them. But maybe I could speak to the younger people who maybe aren't so athletic or don't have lives to be active, right? So just give it a thought, right? Give it a thought, write it down, and then seek somebody out. Hit me up. Ask me a question. You can go to my Instagram or DM me and just say, hey, I was thinking about this, or I saw this online that I might want to try, you know, and I can give you some advice or some help, or just point you in the right direction to get some, and that might help you out later in life, you know.
Awesome. Appreciate that, man.
Yes, sir.
So with this question, we kind of want to go a little bit off scale, but we just want to get your honest thoughts and opinions about, you know, the current climate, right, that's happening in America, right, with the murders of Black people by police, and of course today is election day, right? And the race for the votes and who's gonna win, or, you know, who's in the lead, and all these different questions, right? So we kind of just want to get your thoughts on those two topics.
When I think about stuff like that, it's super unfortunate that this is the truth. You know, this is something that is in this nation and world. And I think when I first became more aware of this, you know, it was before, you know, it seems very recent, but then I think deeper and I'm like, this isn't recent, you know, this is like something I'm just that's new. We have the internet now, so you see a lot of these things. But then I started thinking back. I'm like, okay, I know I remember seeing this video online, you know, in 2014. I remember hashtagging. I remember, you know, Facebook will bring a memory up, and I remember saying, "Look, Google this thing, because this is crazy. This happened to them." You know, in 2013 or 15, you know, I'm like, okay, hold on. So, you know, it's just, it almost seems linear, right? It almost just seems like this is a timeline and it's getting worse. Time that mindset, but I try to backtrack and think, okay, no, this isn't linear. This isn't something that's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The attention on it, I think, right now is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. That actually towards the greater good of everybody, because now it's not underground, right? We have people in positions that are doing things about this and are exposing this and are actually going in the community. They're going into the opposite of the community. They're going into the offices, right? And figuring out how we can make change and actually doing it, you know. And so I'm privileged to know people, especially, you know, living in the area close to the people who are putting themselves in position to actually make changes on you know. And I know people who are just at the ground level and are willing to put in the work to do exactly what it takes. So it's good to know that there's both sides. There's two sides to the side, and there's people who are willing to get ugly in order to face that.
Yeah.
Yep. So what about with the election?
Man, it's crazy because it's election night. So here we are, right? I started off saying it's a great way to take our mind off it, but you know, we can't for so long, right? It's apparent and it's here. And this is crazy that this is the night that we chose to talk about this. So you know, I think we're thinking, you know, we gotta be awake, right? I remember Diddy with the run the city to vote, right? I remember that vividly.
Vote,
and I remember
I
remember thinking like, okay, so he's important figures we have, right? It's that important that we face this and we address this, right? So probably maybe before Obama's. Do you guys remember what year that was?
When
Diddy was doing run the city.
Maybe 2010.
Was it 2010 for the 2012 election?
2012, yeah.
Yeah, maybe
2012 election. Yep.
And I think that was the first year that I was eligible to vote, age-wise. So that told me right there how important it was. Every year, every election that I could since then, you know, and especially even the come up every 2 years. Here we are, 2020, right? So, you know, we talk about culture. We talk about. I remember Jay-Z coming to Richmond, and mine actually opened up, right, for Jay-Z. Jay-Z didn't perform. He just came there to speak and tell us about to vote. You know, and I was thinking, wow, okay, so I'm seeing the most important figures in our culture take time out of their, you know, put that energy into making sure that I'm aware that voting is important, right? So, you know, again, I guess I say all that to say that the awareness has grown. I think, especially in the last 4 years, we understand the sleep on this. We have to participate, active. We have to be out here. We have to be aware of what's going on. And again, it's easy to look at the ugly side. I try to look at the positive side. Be more of, right? That's we need to be voting more, right? We need to be talking about voting more. We need to promote voting more. We need to make this a normal thing. Like, it's not something that we do just when it's against the wall. We when things didn't go our way the last 4 years. This is what we're about because this is important to right. So I think that's. I think from here on out, it's going to be that way.
Yeah, I feel you, especially at this point Like before we ask you this last question, it's like it was a little tough for me to get up earlier. Not tough, but like try to figure out how, like I asked you earlier, continue to boost the morale up for this day. And all I could hear from God is just say, our ancestors are watching. They're watching. You know, those ancestors who died to even get us to that line, who didn't die so that we can sign on the line, and then who died so that we could go and actually fill in the ballot. You get what I'm saying? Our ancestors are watching. So all those people who say our voices don't count, yeah, that makes sense because there's a such thing as an electoral college. I like to call them something else, but I'll tell you offline. But but it's like our ancestors died for this moment and they are watching. So those who are eligible to vote and still choose to sit and not vote is like what Obama said, very disrespectful to them. You know, you disrespecting your culture, you disrespecting your ancestors. Hell, you disrespecting us for not voting. We alive watching all of this. You know, just go out, fill that thing out, no matter who it is. To me, it don't matter who wins. But just go and vote. Utilize your voice because this is the time to do it because we might not have another time.
Right. When we talk about influence, right? We talk and in my mind, you know, the culture that I grew up in, it influences the entire world on a level that we haven't seen, right? You know, I just talked about Sean Carter and Jay-Z, right? You know, I talk about just the hip hop culture, you know, what we grew up in, right? You know, we see these people are influenced that saying this is important, and we all have that influence in our hands and to vote. You know, right. we want to make change. We want to be changed. What we can do, we can post on social media. It's about voting. I'm talking about just in the certain people, media, or whatever you want to do. Even if it's not social media, you want to make your mark in as many as possibly can. That's just one of them.
Right.
Right. The other stuff. We can't make all the music cool, all the clothes cool. Everything that we want to make cool, and we can participate in everything else that we think is cool, but then we don't participate in this section of life. Like, no, we're here too. You know what I'm saying? We everywhere else, right. And we're here, right?
Facts.
And that's what we got to be from here on.
Facts. I agree.
Yeah. So now, for everyone who listens to our podcast, all right, we have our top 5 segment. So for our interviews, we have our quick 5. All right.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So Garrett, I will ask you 5 questions. We just need 5 quick yet honest answers for each question. All right. So first up, tell us one thing that you know now that you wish you did when you started your journey.
One thing I wish I knew was that in those things that I set the intention, I'm drawn to, and I wish I knew how much that would happen, you know. And I wish I wrote this, or you know, I wish I wrote exactly what I meant. You know what I mean? Instead of backing away a little bit, right? Nah, write what you want. That's what you're gonna put your energy into to hopefully achieve.
Dope. So which public figure that has passed on that you would have loved to meet and hopefully maybe talk about each other's experiences, maybe potential business opportunities, or just pick their brain for their knowledge?
First person, I guess, Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
Kobe Bryant, because you know I'm Kobe Bryant. You know, I watched Jordan at the end of his career, but Kobe, okay. I watched his whole career. You know, so so when I see a person up with that mindset and just what he's court, that's somebody I would sit down and you know, maybe not have a whole but maybe just right, have a couple words, and so that'd be my pick for that.
I like that.
Yeah, that's nice. So next, all right. So this question we ask all of our guests. All right. This is an optional to answer. But what is your favorite curse word and why?
I'm not gonna say which one it is, but I
Okay.
am gonna say if you end up coming in my gym and working out,
Yo,
it gets
no.
tough.
Okay.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Come to the gym. We're gonna turn the music up. We're gonna get in right around about minute 35. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, that was starting. Okay. All right.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right. Describe 2020 in your own words.
Wow. 2020 was like it just flipped. Everything flipped. That's what I would say. The way 2020 started for me, it was something I didn't right, and then even going into the pandemic, but it's like kind of what you make of it, and I see a lot of people. Well, let me describe it instead of talk about what I see other people do. Opportunity comes out of just that change, right? When things are shaken up, you have a choice. You have a choice to rise to the occasion. You have a choice to be responsible and see where the tide's changing to. And so that's 2020 for me. Like when things change. I mean, some people that was amazing. You were in business or the face mask business. You're not walking around saying,
right.
"Oh, this was I can't believe," But that opportunity is there for a lot of people. I think that I speak with. Where they had a really bad year because things got shaken up, but they don't actually recognize how resilient they were. Because you're still here, you're still making moves, you're still moving towards what you want. You know what I mean? You don't have opportunities still, right? So, so that's for me. Things got flipped upside down, but you can still look up and see what's up there, right? I mean, that's kind of a metaphor I would put on it.
Okay. Awesome.
Facts.
And lastly, who or what do you pray for the most?
I mean, of course, friends and family is in every prayer. And I met a gentleman at the end of last year, and it was impactful for me because things started to happen well for him when he was able to pray for everyone else before he prayed for himself. And something I try to remind myself of every time I make that connection.
Yeah,
I agree. I like that.
Great. Yeah, definitely. Well, great, man. Well, again, not again, but that concludes our interview. So we definitely appreciate you, Garrett, for joining us, man. Everyone who is listening and viewing us live right now, please visit Garrett's page on IG right now at Garrett Waller _ LLC. All right. And please check out his website at garrettwaller.com. All right. And again, people, we are on the Politicking app, courtesy of Politicking Broadcasting. All right. You can view this episode right now on the Roku platform and Apple TV.
Yeah. Of course, again, thank you to out the StreamYard platform. This is cool, man. I'm rocking with this right now. Also, please remember to follow us on IG, TikTok, and Facebook, all at the HL Podcast. Be sure to check us out every Thursday for our latest episode. 62 just dropped. 63 is on the way, and we are located on every major podcast platform.
Now, Garrett, do you have any closing remarks or anything you would like to say to the people?
Yes, I mean, the time is now. The time is now to start focusing on your health and fitness. I'm here for you. I'm here when you need me. I'm a cool dude. I'm not one of the fitness trainers. I'm not going to try to make you change your whole life. You know, like you can just ask me some questions. Just start with a question or two. And, you know, again, it's about you. It's about you. You know, whatever you feel like we can do that wherever you are. I got virtual programming as far as scheduling, where we have an entire schedule, Monday, 6 classes. You can see me in person if you're in the DMV area, private virtual. And people are transforming their lives, you know, not just the physical, other people outside of yourself that might benefit from you changing your life. And if you got kids, especially, they're watching you. So yeah, man, check me out. I told you where to find me, GarrettWaller.com. I'm here. And Will, you got to show them the shirt a little. You got to show them the shirt too.
Right.
Let's not act like, hey. Yeah. I appreciate you, Chief. I appreciate you for supporting and believing. And actually, you know, it's funny because you're a testament. You are a testament to some of my fitness programming. So I appreciate you guys. Yeah.
Definitely appreciate you for being on.
Yeah, definitely appreciate you being on, man. And just real quick, like for everybody that, you know, we knew, you know, in high school and just seeing everybody, you know, however many years later now, I ain't gonna throw out our age, but to see everybody from high school in Richmond, you know, doing well. It's just, you know, great to speak with you, great to talk with you, man, and glad you're doing well for yourself, man. Definitely.
Definitely.
Same. Appreciate y'all.